Hello, my friend, and welcome to the study. I'm so glad to see you here on this autumn evening. I've got some treats for you today. Some nice sounds and a bit of Latin. We'll look at accusative and infinitive and subjunctive for impersonal expressions, impersonal verbs. And we'll thank our October patrons, even though it's been a few weeks. So, snuggle up, get comfortable, and let's carve out some calm together. The first thing I have, it's very shiny, is some beautiful, soft, lovely smelling hand cream. It's scented with orange blossom to give our spirit a bit of a lift and our skin some moisture and nourishment. I think it makes a nice sound. It's a nice sort of soft tap. Not harsh, not aggressive. Almost like rain on a porch, roof, or a pathway. Don't you think? See if we can get a lid sound. It's very small, tiny, tiny lid. How many sides? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Octagonal lid. Do you hear that? Give yourself a little pat on your shoulder. Hold your hand. Tell yourself what a wonderful human being you are. A wonder of nature. How wonderful your two hands. With which you can hug someone, shake hands, feel soft things, take care of yourself and others, write, make things, pray, all kinds of things these hands can do for us. The next little treat I have for you is a tin. It's a bit more of a sharp sound. It's a tiny tin. But the sides sound different from the top. And from that little single engine airplane that's flying past. He's enjoying the short bit of clear sky. So we should be happy for him. And off he goes. And we're still here together in the study. This would not be a treat without what's inside. Would you like that noise? I like that sound. I think that's lovely. We have lots of beautiful soft sounds today. These are sweets. It's a bit of sugar to keep them from sticking together, but I don't think it's succeeded because they're so sticky sweet. I wish you could smell them. They're made with fennel, which is a very clean sort of scent. It's not always so overpowering, and it's not overly sweety. It's a very friendly scent, kind of like anise. Pop a little sugar lolly on your tongue to give your brain some energy, because your brain burns sugar. And then we'll feed it with positive thoughts and productive activity. Let's see. Look at all of the things that we can pick from. But I told you we would do independent use of subjunctive. No, it was impersonal verbs. Let's see if I can find something nice for us there. There's independent subjunctive, impersonal verbs. Licet, oportet, necessi est. We also have decet and interest and refert. I think there might be some more here that I've written somewhere, but I can remember where. So this is a very full notebook, and I like to take notes about the things we do together. Oh look, I found an empty page. That's unusual. Another one. I'll have to fill those up. Now I know I get a a lot of criticism from the Latin, but that's okay because it's not entirely a cut and dried thing. There's still lots of room for discussion, which is nice. And just because I do something one way doesn't mean it's the only way. So, look at all of these old things from long ago. I'm seeing a lot of empty pages I can fill up with things that we do together. Look at all of that. I think that's from many years ago. There's a lot of lots and lots of stuff in there over the years. Some of it just scribbles, and some of it a little bit more, as we see here, a little bit more structured. So I hope you like the paper sounds. Let's get started on some impersonal verbs. I'll use this last page in this notepad. Actually, I shouldn't do that. That's not my favorite sound. It's giving me bumps. The tapping's alright though. Listen to that. And the breeze has started up outside, so we have a little bit of breeze. We've got this pen with a little lid. Let's start with an English to Latin. I'll try to write legibly. I'm trying to press because we get that nice pen sound. There. It is very important that you alone should undertake the bribing of the guards. Let's see what we have here. So firstly we have it is very important, and then we have our clause, our relative, or connecting rather, to our next clause, that you alone should undertake, and our object the bribing of the guards. So in English we can see that we've got a preposition with an object that can look like it might be kind of a genitive or dative construction, but keep in mind we might not need that in every Latin expression. What we do have here is a gerund, so we can look out for that. And we've got sort of a directive, possibly use of subjunctive, but then we have the main verb is. It is very important, and there is our impersonal subject, it. How do we say it is important in Latin. Inter est. It matters. It is important. So the interesting thing here is that we use the person for whom in the genitive or an ablative with a possessive adjective, such as mea. And our action, which can be an infinitive or an ut, ne, subjunctive clause. What do you think this looks like here? We've got a should. What we want to keep in mind is that the impersonal verb interest, or other ones such as oportet, which is used frequently, it is proper or one ought to do something. Decet, meaning it is fitting, it is becoming. Or even licet, it is allowed. These can take an accusative plus infinitive construction, which you might think we could do here, that you undertake the bribing of the guards. So what we could do here is say something like magni interest, very important, is, right? So it is very important. And te, there's our accusative. And there's our object. Custodes. And then we put our bribing in the infinitive. Alright? So that's our accusative plus infinitive construction. It is of great importance that you... and I've already made the mistake here of writing the accusative over the wrong one. So we've got, it is of great importance that you, accusative, corrumpere custodes. Alright, how else could we do this? It's perfectly acceptable like this, but we know from many texts that there is certain idiomatic usage involved here. And the interest, which we're working with, usually prefers some construction of the genitive. So what we're going to do is tua interest, alright, plus infinitive instead of the te. Right? What we can also do is interest ut. So we can use an ut subjunctive clause. So ut tu solus blah blah blah. Skipias. Alright, it is important that you alone undertake the blah blah blah. Yeah? So here we have a jussive subjunctive. We'll keep scribbling, shall we? Yes. With important personal verbs. Important, yes. So interested, it is important. With impersonal verbs. Ut in the subjunctive is often more idiomatic if you want to emphasize that a certain person must perform the action. But it is more idiomatic in Latin with our genitive, infinitive, which we have here. So what we say is the person who is doing it. We put them in the genitive. So instead of te, we have tua. The action that we're talking about, corrompere or suscipias. Suscipere, we put in the infinitive. Alright? So let's see if we've already got a chart here. Must be one here somewhere. There's something maybe there. Let's see. There's some adjectives followed by gerund, not exactly what we're looking for, but can do. Let's see. We do have the it is important, interest. And a very nice example here. The genitive of the noun or pronoun, for example, Caesaris. And here we have some different cases for impersonal verbs. Licet, mihi, licet. So using the dative there. And our accusative, me, decet. Right. It is my duty. It is becoming. And here's our infinitive or ut. Me ire juat. Me juat, it pleases me ire to go. Mihi ire, so our dative, videtur. It seems I should go. It is for me to go. Alright, let's stop fooling around. Let's do some more. A little bit more writing. Put that away. Alright. Let's try this sentence. More scribbling. It is fitting. Remember, there's our it is very important. It is fitting. It is becoming. Yes. It is proper. It is right. It's an impersonal verb. No real subject, so it cannot issue a command as such. Even though we can perhaps use this ut clause. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. It is fitting that your sons especially. And we won't get into the intricacies of the English expression here. Should. There's a good subjunctive marker. Take part in politics. So what have we got? We've got a very interesting idiom. Take part in politics. To be involved in politics. So, our idiom. Inter esse rei publicae. To be involved in, to be of concern to the state. Right, so but it's even more than that. It's a sense of taking part in the affairs of state. So we can see the bare meaning there, but the idiom actually has slightly more meaning to it. So taking part in the affairs of state. A sense that you have a stake in it. A stake. Like the kind you put a tent up with. So, to have a stake in. So it's a very personal, involving thing. You belong to these affairs. You're really invested in them. To the affairs and the actions that are leading to the results and decisions of the politicians and the affairs of state. This is used for senators and magistrates to be present in the political process. A more classic phrase we have for the same sort of thing. In rei publicae versari. And this is simply to take part in politics, or generally sort of public life as it was in Rome. So less involved in the actual affairs of state and the actions belonging to that, and more of a general taking an active role in public life. So not quite so invested in it, just being there, being present. We see this in Cicero, in his Procestio, also in his De Officiis, and we can also read this in Sallust, in the Catiline Wars, or the Bellum Catilinae. So we're going to choose this one as it goes well with what we're trying to express here. We're going to put your sons, so tuos. At the beginning, we'll put our possessive pronoun. potissimum. Philios. Decet. Alright, so decet, it is fitting. And then we have our accusative. Your sons, okay, the person involved. And here we just have our, oh, I like that sound, look at that. Or especially potissimum, it's our adverb, okay. And we're going to use this one. In re publica versari. So potissimum, that's our best adverb here for contrast. So above all, potissimum, especially above all others. So we can even put decet at the beginning as well, but because we're emphasizing tuos, philios, even in the accusative we can tell that there's going to be something coming because it's not in the nominative. And we separate those with this adverb especially. In re publica versari. And I think I should have done that there because with versari we have we don't need our genitive there. So we have our more or less an ablative. In re publica versari. It is fitting that your sons especially should take part in politics. So remember that for an impersonal verb, it is fitting, it is befitting, it is important, it is permitted, it is allowed, it matters, it is proper, one ought to. Many times these can be done with accusative infinitive constructions. Or we can have an ut ne plus a subjunctive clause. All right. Let's thank our October patrons. Especially. Right. Remember? Potissimum. It is right that we thank especially the study patrons for October. And I'm going to write right here, very Pirate Carrie, thank you, thank you. Romulus, thank you, thank you. Ben, thank you, thank you. Joshua, thank you, thank you. Therem, thank you, thank you. Andres, thank you, thank you. And Carmen, 1000, thank you. Thank you all so very much for your continuing support of the study. Thank everyone for watching, subscribing and commenting. And if you want to see more of this study, you're always welcome here on YouTube, Instagram, or check out the study's Patreon website or webpage, where there are all kinds of interesting things happening, and there will be a lot more soon as well, as we come into the winter months together. And now for some last beautiful sounds. We have a bird outside saying good evening, and I've got a picture here of a seagull nest. I think we looked at this during the summer. I just found it again. And so as we hear that funny bird outside, and as we settle down for nice, relaxing sleep, let's kiss all of the birds goodnight. Good night, birds. Good night, viewers. Good night, patrons and study friends everywhere. Be good to yourself. Be kind to others. And be extraordinary.